Hey everybody, Aholibamah here, and I have been a little bit busy lately, as you may notice from looking around here. I have mined some diorite out of the basement here and used it to create this new entrance to the bone crusher. I hope you like it. It didn't take a whole lot of work, but I think it looks pretty nice. And then I have somebody to introduce you to down here at the bottom that you may have noticed standing around, but I finally learned his name, and he's going to teach me, and I will show you guys how to build a little automated farm. And we're going to put it by the bone crusher so that we can just put the bone meal directly into it and then move on with our gardening activities and get lots of food, hopefully. So I'll bring you back. Well, let's just walk down there right now. Okay, so here's the entrance. We open the gate and then we step on the pad and it closes itself. Climb down the throat here. Basically just keep walking straight and it takes us inside. So here's Rocky, and he's made some deals with me. He doesn't talk a lot, but he's going to help us set up a little food farm back here behind the bone crusher. So we'll use our bones for that. And he's talked me through doing some prep work here, so I've dug out the area that's needed, and we're going to get that set up. So over here, if I can get there without falling, we've set up a chest with supplies. That chest over there is just my extra stuff that I'm not using for this. So in here we have 6 redstone torches, 3 hoppers, 2 chests, some extra redstone dust that we'll need to apply here and there, 2 dispensers, a sticky piston, a dirt block, the things we're going to plant, which, even though I've found carrots 2 or 3 times, every time my game either crashes or my donkey dies or what have you, and I end up losing the carrot. I've had the worst luck with that. We have 2 levers, and we're going to put up a sign to show, you know, this is ours. And then I also have 5 repeaters, which are important for our timing because we don't have any comparators to make a comparator clock of any sort. So we're going to use a repeater clock, which will be most interesting. It has Rocky has talked me through it, and it seems to be a good idea. So let's take some of those repeaters and the other redstone bits and bobs, and we'll start throwing it down. Okay, I'll bring you back after I get some of that in place. So I've laid down the base repeaters, and I've set the timing as Rocky suggested, and the first torch, and this is what makes our first clock. So what this will do is it'll trigger the piston to go up and down. Now, the neat thing about this is we can take our levers if we gathered them. We didn't gather them. Yay! Throw some stuff in our junk chest. That way we can fit it. And then we gather our levers. And our first lever will disable this. So where'd they go? There they are. Okay. So we stick a lever here and ta-da, it turns off the clock. So it stops clocking. Is that a word? Probably not. Okay, so then our piston will go right here. Ready? Bam. No. No. Bad piston. Let's see if I can get a better angle on this. I think that's what I need to do, right? Sneak out here and there. Okay, then we throw that dirt block on top of it. Good, good. Okay. And next step, we're going to want our dispensers. Okay, so we're going to put one above this torch. And we're going to put one there. Perfect. Okay, so what that'll do is there will be a dispenser pointing at that at all times. Okay, so then we've got it shut off. That is working. So I'm gonna set up some redstone. Well, let's get this clock going for the redstone really quick, because that's fairly easy. So what this is the most basic kind of clock, and it's a rapid fire clock. And all it takes is the 4 redstone torches on 2 blocks like so, and then we take some dust, we throw some there, 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 and then it's going. And then we take our output from here. It's already working. So the next step of that is we throw a lever in to turn it off. Works pretty much the same way. If there's a solid input, then it stops the clock from ticking off and on and off and on. So I will throw in some redstone to connect those two together, and I'll fix some floor here, and then we're almost ready. So I'll bring you back after that. So what I have done is I've finished linking up the redstone. I sent it up this block, and then because that's a half slab, it doesn't cut it off, and then it can go up onto the half slab from there. Then it goes across that block and onto this block. Unfortunately, what I've noticed with that is it seems to have disabled the hoppers by having redstone next to them. So I'm hoping with it flashing that it will put in enough of the bone meal in order to spit it out again. So what we've got here is down there we have the 5 repeaters, and one of them is on full ticks and another one is on 2 ticks. And what that does is it provides enough time for this to be up or down for it to grow. That way I have plenty of time for the bone meal to do its thing. And then, so this lever activates that dust, which provides a solid signal so that that one stays without flashing back and forth. This one over here, this lever, provides a solid signal here to keep this one from flashing back and forth. But if I flip that one off, whoa, if I turn off this one over here, then that redstone torch, when it's on, sends the current around, which turns itself off, which loses the current around, which lets it go on, and back and forth and back and forth. But the repeaters provide the right delay for it to be up or down for the right amount of time to grow. So then this one, when I let it loose, it shoots the dispensers rapid fire and they spit out bone meal. Now what I want to do is close this up and then have a test. Oh, it's hopper. And then have a test to see, because I've loaded 1 stack of bone meal in each one. I want to see how much wheat I can get out of this thing. I've got 1 wheat seed here. I'm ready to go. And here we go. Ready? Turn that on. It goes up and down. turn that on, it starts firing. And we got nothing. So we'll try with potatoes. It's all about the timing where you start, I think. So what I've got here is now I've got a sufficient quantity of potatoes that I can keep going, but when I put on the seeds at the wrong point for the wheat, then I just automatically lost them. Maybe they're somewhere in the gears of the machine. I can check into that in a minute when I run out of bone meal here. Looks like, oh, I did forget something. You know what I forgot is water. So I need to find a spot to provide water next to this block and that block. Well, not next to, but at those levels within 4 spaces here. And I just remembered what I had this dug out for. Okay. So I will put these blocks back how I had them, and I will come back to you. Alright, so here I am ready to start the test again. I will make sure that these are loaded up with a full stack. Come on. Okay, one stack in there. Let's see, how do I pull this out? One stack in here. Okay. Now I have 20 beetroot seeds. I have a full stack of potatoes and a full stack of wheat. So I'm going to start with the wheat and see what I can get, because that is one of the more useful ones due to, well, not the hopper, the switch, due to the cows and sheep. So then we come over here. Oh. See what it gives us. With it being on the server, I might need to adjust some of the timings, make it a little bit less quick. But it looks like it is working. Maybe just not perfect. Oh, looks like we're out. Okay, so let's shut it off, and then we'll check our status. Okay, so with a stack in each, so that's 2 stacks of bone meal, I now have 35 more seeds and 44 wheat. Not quite as good as I'd hoped. However, the bone meal is free, so this is a lot faster than just growing it myself. So maybe we'll try a test now with the potatoes and then call this done, because the potatoes seem to do very well. Come on. Here we go. More, and then the other side. Oh, hey, it wasn't empty. Come on, 64. Okay, so we'll turn on this lever, turn on this lever, And throw potatoes in. Potatoes seem to be working better, but maybe that's just me. I think with the free bone meal that we have here, every time we come to use the bone crusher, we just change the bones into bone meal and load up these chests here. The chests will hopper them straight into the dispensers, and we can plant all we want. Sure seems like they're done, doesn't it? Okay, so turn it off and we'll see where we're at. We have 2 stacks plus 11 and 2 poisonous potatoes. So that's more what I expected. I made more than double. So that's great. So I think I will call this one a success. I based this design off of several things that I've seen on the Hermitcraft server. However, I did not follow any tutorials. I just kind of made my own with parts that I figured would probably work effectively in Pocket Edition. So, here is the micro farm, established on the 5th of July in 2016. Thanks. So, that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks for joining me. It's been a great time. I enjoyed working this out with you. It seems to work rather great. I I tested it out some more and ran through a whole bunch of bone meal, and now we have a great use for all the bones that we're getting from the bone crusher. So that's wonderful. So I look forward to next episode when Rocky has told me he'll give me his plans for a decent tree farm. It's not using redstone, just 1 hopper and a chest and a lot of water, and so it's very simple to make and adjustable to whatever size you want. But it works really well. So join me then and we will make another one. Until next time, rock on.